Guys of a Certain Age is brought to you by no one. Absolutely no one. Except these dudes walking down memory lane. Now let's head to the studio to see what they misremember next.
Happy DCU Day to all who celebrate. It's Guys of a Certain Age. Robbie Koblentz in studio.
With a very surprised Art Shirley that I didn't know it was DCU Day.
And Jay Reed.
So
who would have not had a clue unless Art told him.
Yeah, so Creatures Commandos dropped on Max
I did see
today.
that today. I saw that this morning. Yeah.
Today is the day, as we record, December 5, 2024, the DCU starts today.
Okay.
Because Creature Commandos is the
first gun property.
The new DC.
Yeah, the other one was DCEU.
Come on, Jay.
I cannot keep up
No,
with
I
that.
get it.
Yeah.
DCEU, MOUSE. No, that would be
PDQ. ASAP.
WTF is Jay.
Hello. Okay, that woke me up.
Sorry, Mrs. Reed. So Creature Commandos dropped today.
Yeah, it's animated series. I guess all the episodes dropped. They
do
it. I think
Max does it on a weekly basis.
Yeah, Max and Apple are the ones that do it weekly.
Speaking of Max and weekly shows, either one of you guys watching Dune, Prophecy?
No,
Jay, you don't need to watch
catch
it because you'll go to sleep. I mean,
I may too. Maybe that's my insomnia cure.
It really is.
It is slow paced.
It is
deliberately paced.
This is the one about the women, right? The
Bene Gesserit, who are called the Sisterhood. This takes place 10,000 years before the birth of Paul.
Yeah, I saw the trailer.
Muad'Dib.
Looked
And it's
interesting.
It's happening in real time.
Oh, it's slower than real time.
Like 24.
Yeah. So it's okay.
So even as a Dune fan, you're not sure about this one.
Well, I'm sure it's slow.
Okay, fair enough.
I like the world building, and I kind of like what they're doing, but there is so much exposition, and it's slow paced.
Yeah,
I'm just kind of ready for it to pick up. So, anyway, yeah, that's on Max.
Okay,
I will say, I've gotten into the shows on Paramount Plus that are non-Star Trek pretty hard. The Taylor Sheridan shows.
Okay.
Oh yeah, like Landman.
Landman.
Okay,
is,
I saw the first part of that.
is great.
Yeah, that looked great.
There's all the Yellowstone tie-ins too, right?
Which
1894, 1929.
Yeah,
well, that's what
1984.
If you're watching
2000.
Yellowstone current season, they've been playing the first episode of Landman one week. They played the first episode of The Agency this past week, and I think there was another one, The Lioness. They played a few weeks ago, and all of them look great. I didn't see The Agency preview. But,
I've seen the Agency preview, but you've got to have Showtime for that.
That's what it looked like. Yeah,
but I've been watching Tulsa King.
Oh yeah, with
Sylvester
Stallone.
Oh, yeah.
It is fabulous.
Okay.
I'm just going to tell you.
They put that on. Obviously, they cleaned it up for broadcast TV, but they put that on CBS for a while.
Did they put it on
Yeah,
CBS?
trying to get some interest in it. I think they reran the first season before the second season debuted. But didn't that come out this fall or maybe a couple of weeks ago?
Anyway, the second season's complete at this point.
Okay, so it seems like it ran maybe over the summer.
Yeah,
and there's probably a fall
and they did
launch.
They did that with Yellowstone as well.
Yeah,
I believe.
sure did.
So, have you seen Yellowstone?
I haven't watched anything. I mean, I've watched a couple episodes of Lioness, and then I think we got rid of Paramount right around the same time because the Star Trek stuff was over.
Yeah.
So now that we've got it again, I may have to go back and pick it up.
Well, I've become a Wrexham fan. The Wales, the Welsh football
that's on
club.
Paramount.
And so like all of those guys are. All their games are on Paramount Plus because CBS, Paramount's got the English Champions League.
So you're talking about watching the actual matches, not the documentary.
Not Welcome to Wrexham.
Gotcha.
But the club that it's about,
right.
And so it plays on Saturday morning. Yeah, I figured since my other football club sucks, even though Mary Flipmas to you Ole Miss people. Yeah. Do you guys follow recruiting at all?
Yeah.
You followed the whole Tyler Leichhardt thing?
Was going to State, then going to Ole Miss. Then his mother said, "No, you're going to State." So he's back to State, right?
Yeah, he actually signed the deal.
Yeah.
I don't know if you followed any of that.
I haven't. I've just heard one of my technicians at work follows it, and we got a few flips our way, and I know we probably obviously missed.
They said State fans are busy deleting all their social media posts about about him leaving, and now I guess Ole Miss fans are deleting theirs.
So there's speculation that it was like Lane has done with State before. It was a staged flip.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And but well, I'll tell you the rest off mic because it's kind of sad. Anyway, yeah, there you go. So let's get to Geeks of the Week.
Geeks of the Week.
Why don't we?
Yeah.
So who wants to go, Art?
Why don't I go first this time?
Okay.
Yeah. Just as a change of pace. The oldest person, just like the View. Joe Burrow.
Does it make you whoopee?
No, I'm whatever.
I don't know who's on the View.
Who was Ozzy's wife?
Oh,
Sharon Osbourne. Yeah, that makes me Sharon Osbourne.
Can you talk like Sharon Osbourne?
No, I can't have a better chance of talking like Ozzy. Maybe unintentionally. So anyway, we talked a couple of times now about Chris Nolan's Tumbler, or replicas of the Tumbler, the Batmobile from the Christopher Nolan movies.
And just for the record, I had not heard y'all on that episode when I brought it up again the last time.
Yeah.
I listened to it like the next day.
Yeah.
And realized, that's what they're talking about. Okay. Anyway,
we mentioned
you want the
and
Tumbler.
we said you thought you might want one.
Yeah,
but actually, Joe
Christmas
Burrow, formerly of the LSU Tigers national championship team, and now
formerly of Ohio State.
Ohio State, yeah, that's right. Yeah, and then he flipped, and then also now currently with the Cincinnati Bengals, who are not going to be playing for a championship,
who are being flipped.
Yeah, that's right. There's coach talk on that I heard this morning, but anyway, I digress. Anyway,
This
Joe
ain't no sports podcast.
Joe is also, his grandparents live in Amory, so he has a local connection for us here. And he goes by Joey for anybody that knows him. We don't, so we'll call him Mr. Burrow.
Mr. Burrows.
Mr. Burrow.
Anyway, he has purchased one of these Tumbler replicas.
He needs to bring it to his grandparents' house.
He needs to bring it to his grandparents' house. Exactly what I was thinking. $3 million is what we saw. I don't know what he paid for.
He'll have to put it on a trailer, though, because he can't drive
it's
it
not
here.
street legal, right? I guess it drives. I guess it moves.
Yeah, I think it drives. He just can't.
So he needs to bring it down here.
But hold on. How many vehicles in the county of Monroe are truly street legal?
Or the state of Mississippi.
Or the state.
Right,
Yeah,
right. Since
that's
we gave
right.
up that whole inspection thing.
That's right. Yeah, he'd get pulled over just to see it. People go,
They're right.
I'm not giving you a ticket. I just want to look at it
Yeah.
for a while. Yeah. So, he doesn't bring it down to Amory, Mississippi. Let's do a podcast with him.
Go to Bill's Hamburgers.
I know that's why he bought it, so he would have an entree to be able to get on guys of a certain age, right? So, look,
Why not?
I finally did this. Am I cool enough? Well, we'll see.
That's pretty
But
funny.
anyway, yeah. So Joe Burrow has purchased one of the tumblers. So
Or-
there are more left, though. I understand there were
Jay?
replicas.
It was going to be 10, so there's 9 left for y'all to get from me.
Yeah. Now they're 9.
Yeah.
So,
And then there were 9. What?
yeah.
So anyway, Joe Burrow.
Cool.
Tumbler.
Tumbler.
You want to go now, Jay?
I will go now. Yes, across. This is not an obituary. The guy passed away in '86, but so
I was a sophomore in high school.
Is 35 years
married.
late.
Yeah.
No, but this came across my feed that I think it was House of the Mouse on Instagram. So the voice of Santa Claus in Frosty.
I did see this, yeah.
Okay, is the same voice as the Haunted Mansion at Disney World.
One of the voices.
Well, the intro
the
voice,
intro, the narrator
voice
voice,
when you
yeah,
come
right,
in,
okay.
when you come in, yeah. And so in the text of the caption, it said, he's probably been in a lot of other things you listened to as a kid. So I went back on IMDb, and the guy has a pretty good.
What's his name?
Paul Frees. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, Paul Frees! I didn't realize. Yeah, he
Paul
died.
Frees.
Yeah,
86.
Mr. Freeze to you.
Yeah, he
Well,
is. He's
a
old time
Jack
radio guy.
Frost.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I looked at his list is so long.
Oh, yeah.
On IMDb, and it starts off with War of the Worlds, which you have also performed in. Not the same.
He did a Orson Welles kind of narration for the movie of War.
Yeah, he was listed as radio reporter too.
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
something
actually,
like
yeah,
that.
that's right. He has a role in that. Yeah.
Yeah, so there were a few things that like he might have actually acted in, but most of it was narrator and stuff. And so some of the things that I wrote down a bunch, and that's not even half. Apparently, in the Hall of Presidents, he's George Washington.
Okay.
He was Carr in Knight Rider.
Was he really?
That's what it said. Yep. Return of the King.
The animated version.
The animated version of Return of the King. And then the list of Christmas things just long. He was Jack Frost in Jack Frost. He was in the Frosty movies, Drummer Boy, and he was like Santa in Frosty. There's some more. I probably wrote them down later here. He was in The Hobbit, the animated version of The Hobbit. The new original Wonder Woman with Linda Carter, he was the prologue narrator.
Okay,
like that. So it's the War of the Worlds. I love this. He was Burgermeister Meisterburger in Santa Claus is Coming to Town, which is one of my favorite. Beneath the Planet of the Apes, he was like an ending narrator, kind of a something in that.
On a small green planet.
I wish I could read my writing. He was in the Tootsie Pop commercial. You know, the one with the owl that says he was Mr. Fox in the Tootsie Pop commercial.
Okay.
I Dream of Jeannie, Fantastic Four back in 67 and 68, so the animated back there. The Superman Aquaman Hour of Adventure in the same time period. He was in animated Beatles.
Yeah, he played one of the Beatles.
Played a couple of them, it looked like. Yeah. In this, Robbie, you may know, there's a movie called King Kong Escapes, and he played a character named Doctor Who.
Who?
Yep.
But not the real one.
Not the real one. Space Ghost, he was in Get Smart, The Super Six. I just kind of noted everything that looked superhero-ish. Tarzan in the Valley of Gold.
Yeah.
Let's see. In Mary Poppins, he was a barnyard horse.
Okay.
The voice of a barnyard
during
horse.
the animated sequence, yeah.
Yeah. He was in Bullwinkle and Rocky, different voices there. Manchurian Candidate. So anyway, just it goes on and on and on and on.
That's obvious.
But really, as I do.
He was second probably only to Mel Blanc in terms of voiceover stuff. I mean, he did a lot of old-time radio, and he would do character voices. You had folks that did, like I said, he would sometimes be called in to do the Orson Welles type narration if you couldn't get Orson Welles.
Okay.
But he did a lot of, like I said, character voices.
So you're saying he's the poor man's Orson Welles?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or the alive Orson Welles?
I think he would probably agree with that. If you got William Conrad or you got Paul Frees, if you wanted that kind of
William
gravitas.
Conrad, yeah.
But Conrad didn't do a lot of voices. His was always pretty much his voice. But Paul Frees did a lot of stuff, just a whole lot of stuff. And you'll look and you see the credit. He's in the Thing from Another World as well. One of the scientists from that.
So I guess the modern day version of that would be Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman obviously is in everything. I was trying to think, who's the guy? There's some guy that is in like the Scooby-Doo movie, cartoon stuff that has been around since the original Scooby-Doo stuff, Frank Welker or something like that. And he does a lot of voices. You'll see him show up. Or who's the guy that plays Bender? Not Joe DiMaggio.
It's DiMaggio.
It's something like that,
yeah,
right?
DiMaggio's
the last name. We don't know what his first name is, but he's in everything too.
Yeah.
You look and see. So. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
I was going, I hear he died. Then I went, he was 86.
Yeah, 1986.
I am sorry to hear that. But
yeah. He died. He's only 66, so he died fairly young. But
so a lot of those guys were smoking.
Huh?
A lot of those guys were smoking.
Probably right.
It's like you listen to old time radio and they break for it.
Sponsored
smoke
by
Chester
Marvel's.
smoked Chesterfields, and and then you go, how did Jack Webb die? He died at 50 something.
4 out of 5
cancer.
doctors smoked Chesterfields.
Right. Oh yeah, that's exactly what it was. Right,
Yeah.
that's not an exaggeration. Yeah.
No, it was not. It wasn't an exaggeration at all.
Anyway, so just a Christmas homage to Paul Frees.
Oh, how sweet of that. So
no relation to Hugh. Doesn't spell it the same way.
Oh, Hugh Freeze. Anyway, so my geek of the week is there is a second prequel to Game of Thrones.
Really?
Yes, that will be out next year. And it's going, I think it's called A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. It takes place between House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones. And it is a knight and his squire venturing across Westeros.
Okay.
Is that you? What'd you do?
I hit the stand. It was like a chime.
What note is that?
So I think I saw this. Is the word is Aegon in the name of this?
Yeah, so there's like a bunch of Aegons, okay? And so there will be 4 Aegon Targaryens who are kings in Westeros, who are, king of the 7 kingdoms. So Aegon in secret is the squire because his family is not very well regarded at this time period with the Targaryens. So
Okay, so is this Aegon's Conquest? Is what I had. No, is that the same thing?
no.
Game of Thrones spinoff Aegon's Conquest is in the works at HBO.
So that is Aegon the First, who was the first of his name, who came from old Valyria on dragons to conquer Westeros.
Okay, so that's a whole different thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow. How many shows are there going to be?
They're going to milk it as long as they can.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Aegon the Conqueror. Yeah. So I would love to see something about building the wall up north.
That would be pretty cool.
With Bran the Builder. You know, how do you build that gigantic wall with
Maybe
magic?
they could tap into a different genre and do like this old wall and have it as a DIY.
And animated.
Bob
Aegon the Builder. Can we build it?
Bob
Yes, we
Villa the
can.
Builder. So, yeah. But
Bob
anyway.
Westeros.
What? Northeros.
Northeros.
Northeros. So, anyway, that's my geek of the week.
Norm is a White Walker. Is that what it's called?
Oh.
I'm seeing it. It's gold.
All
There's
right.
money in the bank.
We've gone a little too far for today. I think we're going to have told the regrettable
Okay.
for
Jay's
next time.
regrettable.
Yeah, because we've gone off the rails.
Yeah.
So, but
No, that's no different than usual.
yeah, but it's a little bit more worser than usual. All right, we're going to come back in a few minutes, discuss a little biopic based upon Jay's life, Wicket. And we're back. We're going to talk about Wicket, which is a story of a good kid from a good town who goes away to school and comes back evil and corrupted. Also, yeah, with a sibling who's much more popular than they are with their parents. I mean, does that remind you of somebody who's behind a microphone right now?
I don't know.
And after today, the theme song could be Defying Brevity. I didn't sing it. I almost sung it. Almost sang it.
So we're going to talk Wicket.
Yeah.
And I actually went to go see
That's
Wicket.
what I could not.
that's the big
That's
shock.
the big story. Forget the movie.
Yeah, we're bearing the lead.
Yeah, the box office number that counts is that Robbie Goldblitz went within the first week to see Wicked.
And so what's funny is I'm the one who suggested it to Bonnie.
What?
Yeah. You don't even know me.
Sweet husband.
You don't even know me. She was
right.
kind of.
Did you know what it was about?
Well, I've always wanted to read the book. You know,
Yeah.
it was based upon a book that
I've
was
read the
written
book.
in,
Yeah,
what,
James
86, 88? something like
McGuire,
that.
what's his name?
Honestly,
Toby.
don't remember.
Toby. No.
Show me the broom.
Yeah.
So,
And he's done a series of books, right?
He's got several others similar that are like
Yeah,
prequel,
different
sort of,
fairy tales or whatever.
Fairy
yeah.
tale,
Becky's read the book.
fractured fairy tales.
Yeah.
I am noticing
Thinking
that
of Rocky
Jay,
and Bullwinkle.
Jay has worn pink and green today
Oh, Jay.
in honor of Wicked, right?
Yes, of course.
Did you not do that on purpose?
I did not. I was cold.
Subliminal. Subliminal.
And I was thinking it was pink and green. I mean, pink and gray.
It was.
Yeah.
I was thinking red, but anyway.
Well,
it
in this
works.
light, it looks pink.
It does. It actually does.
It looks
yeah.
very
It's the on air side.
And his
is
face, he
shining.
painted his face green, which I think is interesting.
No, I just don't feel well.
That's right. And this happens every time he comes in this room. So,
Gotta
Gregory Maguire is the author.
Gregory. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
In the book, I'll tell you.
Published in 95. I was
95. Yeah, see, I found the book. You know, these little libraries are like a little house on a post.
Yeah,
in somebody
yeah,
in your
yeah.
neighborhood. I found the Wicked in one of those little libraries, and I hardly ever look at them.
It was a public thing, wasn't it? Well, you didn't
Yeah,
like
yeah.
You didn't walk into somebody's house. Oh, missing this one from my
What are you
library.
people doing here in
The
the
shelf
library?
shelf in someone's den.
Yeah.
No, so I got it from there and read the book, and so I have not seen the musical itself. So my whole impression was based on what I'd read in the book. So I mean,
The source material. Have you
it's
ever
a lot
read?
out.
Have you ever read The Wizard of Oz? Either one of you?
I have, yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you read any of the other books in the series?
I haven't read any other books in the series.
What's
I
the
don't
second
think.
one? I think I read that one at the time, back when I was in like junior high or something.
I did read his Santa Claus book, though. That's one of the
Really?
bases for
Did you
one.
get run over by a reindeer?
That was the grandma.
Yeah. So,
Auntie M got run over by a great reindeer.
you know, Wicked, the Wonderful Wizard of Oz, which is the name of the book, was an allegory for the Dust Bowl,
Right.
and the industrialization of America in the late 1800s. So very, very political, as I understand. Had a history professor who was a buddy, kind of walked me through it all. And
everybody represents Sinclair Lewis, I think. No, that's sorry, that's something else.
Yeah, I mean,
anyway,
it's Alice in Wonderland, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that is so.
Upton Sinclair, I think.
Upton Sinclair, yeah. So, anyway, Wicked is the Life and Times of the Wicked Witch, which was published in '95, became a Broadway musical. Mid-2000s?
No, it's earlier than that, I think, isn't it?
I don't know.
Maybe not, because I think they said it was 20-something years ago. They played it.
Well, Kristen Chernobyl.
Keep trying.
Yeah.
But anyway. Kristen Chernobyl is a great superhero.
She's smoking. She's really hot.
That's right.
Yeah. Originated the Glinda role.
Right.
And
Idina Menzel.
You know what was the next thing that Kristen did once she left Broadway?
Was it West Wing?
She went to the West Wing.
Yeah, I know she did. She did Pushing Daisies, right? Pushing Up Daisies or whatever.
Pushing Daisies.
Pushing Daisies. Wasn't that to him too, the guy that you like?
No, it wasn't Aaron Sorkin.
Oh, okay. I thought it was.
No. But she dated Aaron Sorkin.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew there was more of a connection.
Yeah. So
so then Idina Menzel was the original Elphaba, and they were both in the movie.
And Joel Grey was the original wizard, I believe. I think that's right. And I always think Becky saw it on Broadway, and I always think she saw it. He was in Cabaret. And
like that helps.
Was he in the movie?
No, he was not in the movie.
No cameo.
That he may be in the second part. I don't know.
But I don't know who he is.
I always want to say Becky saw it with the original cast.
And, wow!
And now I'm not sure if that's true or not. But we're going with it. She saw it with the original cast.
So it debuted on Broadway 2003.
Yeah,
and it went on a U.S. tour in 2005. So Kristen left after the first year of it on Broadway.
So I doubt she saw it with them, but anyway, we'll say she did. And then we saw it again at the Orpheum probably 15, maybe not quite 15 years ago.
Really? So it was there
and
this year, too.
And I had no memory of it. I mean, watching the play, I have no memory of it. I remember some of the songs, but I don't remember anything. I didn't remember the whole. Spoiler alert, by the way.
Second U.S. tour was in 2009.
Okay. That's when we saw it then. Yeah. So,
15 years ago.
Yeah, so it was 15 years ago. Yeah. Okay. And I don't, I liked it okay. I think I've told y'all before, I was sitting in the Orpheum in the dip on the floor, and then I was behind, I think, a basketball player, so I watched the whole thing through an armpit. So, I needed to do that again. Now I know what's going on. But anyway, I really enjoyed the movie. I mean, since we're here to talk about the movie, did everybody enjoy what they saw?
It was I thought it was a very well done movie. Like I said, I only had the book, so I was kind of.
And I know there are a lot of changes, or there are changes,
right? And I'm sure, and that'd be curious to know. Obviously, a lot of changes from the book to the movie. I'm assuming the same thing for the musical.
Yeah, there's changes.
I wonder from the musical to the movie.
From the musical to the movie, there are some changes too. I don't think they're nearly as extreme as from the book.
Yeah, well, I mean, the book had chapters and chapters of her growing up, and that was in like 2 scenes. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously they couldn't do all that in a musical. I understand that.
Yeah,
I mean, not all of Les Mis is in Les Mis.
Yeah, that's right. And they did add some stuff. The movie's under 3 hours.
240,
a little under 3 hours.
May I just tell you?
You may. I think I know where you're going.
I made it through the entire movie without having to go out.
That's the lead.
That's the lead.
That's the lead.
I had the app going, and I never needed it.
I don't think Defying Continence works as well for us,
but I'll take it.
It's not
I was going there, but you beat me to
it. Not as catchy a tune.
Yeah, so my wife's head was on my shoulder for part of it, so if I'd have got up, I'd have woken her up. So
Did she asleep? Did she fall asleep?
She crashed hard. She had a long day.
I did doze off a little bit during the High School Musical part when they were at the prom.
That's exactly what Melissa said. She goes, "This is like High School Musical."
That's exactly what it felt
which
like.
I've never seen. So
I have never seen it either. I just assumed that was it.
It was. Yeah.
Flash 2, I've got like on DVD and Blu-ray.
So I didn't fall asleep. Jay didn't go to the bathroom. What was during Wicked? What's your amazing feat?
I didn't kill the guy that was kicking the seat behind me. That was my amazing feat.
Boy, Bonnie was
kicked
about to
the
come
whole time.
Did you turn around and say no?
Oh yeah, we gave him the look and said, "Hey, what's going on?" And it wasn't like I was thinking it was like a little kid that just didn't want to be there, but it was some teenager.
Well, that's when you beat him.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean that's what
the Wicked's all about.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of people in our theater, so I could hear a little singing along, but not a lot.
Yeah,
Did
you
tell
weren't
them to
supposed
stop
to
it?
sing. I mean,
Yeah.
apparently there's going to be a sing-along version that comes out after
I've heard that
Christmas.
too, yeah.
Which I'm assuming is going to have lower thirds. It's going to have subtitles.
Yeah, I would
Surely.
imagine, surely, because they've done that with other musicals before, right? I think they did that with...
You're asking me.
No, I'm looking at Robbie. I'm looking at Robbie.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Dune musical. It's really sandy here.
That's one thing. It's not really a criticism because I should have expected it, but it seemed very
Musically?
the music was great, but it was kind of like standard Broadway.
Oh my
in
gosh!
a way.
That first opening theme, and it's just like this is the Broadway open, from every other musical.
Right. And even the title looked like Oklahoma.
No, the title was supposed to look like the original Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was.
And I did like
maybe
the
Oklahoma
one.
one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But it does
that's
look,
true.
look like Oklahoma too.
But they all looked kind of the same.
Yeah, but that's not to take away from, like I said, the production value was great. The effects were great.
Acting was great, I thought. Jeff Goldblum played the best Jeff Goldblum I've ever seen in my life. I wanted him to say, again, spoiler alert, when he's inviting Elphaba to come live in Oz, and we'll put you up here in an apartment from apartment.com.
Yeah, I was waiting for that one. And I was hoping to see a little Velociraptor model somewhere.
That would have been hilarious.
Oh, wait, wrong movie.
Yeah.
But
Now, Michelle Yeoh was great, but she was not what I pictured as Madame Marble when I read the book.
I did not expect her to be the big bad. I went in with no...
I figured it was probably a glorified cameo at most, and she had a major role in the thing.
Yeah,
But I didn't expect her,
And they tweaked her role, I think, in the book. In the book, she was more like the headmistress of the school, of the university. Still did a lot of the same things, but it was a different role the way that she played in a way, and she seemed like the little woman that was kind of, I don't know what her role was. She wasn't the headmistress, but she was.
Yeah, I know you're talking about who kind of handled all the rooming assignments. and stuff.
That's kind of how I pictured Madame Marble.
Yeah,
but I mean, she did a good job. I liked all the little grammatical.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was kind of fun.
And it's like I said, having seen it, I'm going, I thought her name was Glinda. Becky goes, just watch the movie. And it was such an about face of how every time she has to come watch some Marvel movie or a superhero movie with me, and goes, just watch the movie.
So was that accurate from the book, the Galinda to Glinda?
Yeah.
It was. Remember? I don't know if it happened exactly the same way.
She changed it
for
the same reasons.
Changed, yeah.
So did the book have the subplot of the animals being the talking animals?
Yeah. I mean, it was much more drawn out, but that was definitely.
And see, I don't remember that at all from seeing the play. I don't remember that at all.
Well, think about the book and the second part. Okay, so in the beginning of the movie, this is one of the instances because there's some more or less sex scenes in the book. Not explicit, but
sorry, Mrs. Reed.
Yeah. So, well, I gave her the book now, so
I'm just wondering where you define the more or less.
Yeah, that's a fair.
And what
question.
would be more?
It's like the. Never mind.
It wasn't like a Danielle Steele novel.
Okay, gotcha.
But it was just talked about more. Okay, so you saw when the mother. It was kind of drinking the elixir and implied that she had an affair, right?
Yeah.
Well, that was just much more drawn out and explained.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
In the book, and then later on,
the wizard.
Spoiler alert! I mean, you saw the relationship with Fiyero and Elphaba developing in this movie.
Yeah.
It develops even further, and they'll have to figure out how to explain that. It gets a little bit more.
I guess they figured it out since the play's been around.
It's been around for a minute. Yes, it has. But I was just curious how they probably just do like they did with the.
Yeah, I'm really surprised you haven't seen it.
I am too.
Yeah,
I don't know why I hadn't.
Yeah.
Because it's not on TV yet.
We stopped for a minute of silence.
Let me think on this a minute. No, I was going to try to watch it like on YouTube, but I don't even know if I can.
I don't think it's there. Yeah,
not legally anyway. So,
how do you think? I think both actresses were great. Cynthia Erivo, who is a major Tony Award-winning actor, and
Who'd she play?
She was Elphaba.
Elphaba. She was phenomenal.
She was phenomenal. She
Absolutely
really was.
phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, just great. And
Our
then-
friend Madeline was in New York this past week.
Yeah.
And apparently saw her.
Oh yeah, sure did. That's right. And
Did
I
she
guess
get like a selfie with her or anything?
No,
I don't
she
think
just
so.
passed her on the street. She was, Irvina, whatever her name is, was coming out of a restaurant. Madeline was going in or something like that. Just barely missed her. Yeah, I don't know Ariana Grande as far as her music, and I don't
know
follow
any of her songs. I know her from The Voice, having hosted The Voice or been one of the people on The Voice
I
or
think
whatever.
she played the part
and
very
I
well.
see her do impressions a lot. I don't know if she's on Saturday Night Live and she does just outstanding impressions, and she sings like she'll do a Celine Dion song and can sing just like her. She's got an incredible voice, but she's also an incredible mimic. And I felt like she was at times, kind of mimicking Kristen Chenoweth a little bit. I'm sure that's just the part, but some of the things that she said sounded a little bit like her. And you mentioned the cameo from them or whatever y'all did earlier.
Yeah.
That was neat. I didn't
I didn't realize Idina Menzel was the other main player. So I just assumed it because I saw Kristen Chenoweth and I knew she was in it.
Yeah.
So I Googled that later.
Probably one of the best cameos.
Yeah,
period.
I think so too.
Just incredibly well played.
Because they played more than just here they show up for a couple of seconds and who that was. They had a singing role, and it was just there was really, you could tell it was kind of a nod from each of the current actors playing the role to the former ones, and there just seemed to be something to that.
One of the controversies was that Ariana Grande got paid more, and they came out and said no, they got paid the exact same.
Yeah.
So did you?
Jeff Goldblum, however,
he made bank.
When Dr. Dillman came out, the goat professor, Melissa said, "I know that voice. He's a famous voice." And it's
Was
Peter
it Paul
Dinklage.
Frees? What?
Yes.
Who?
Peter Dinklage.
Oh yeah, sure it is. Yeah.
Yep.
I had forgotten that.
And he was actually in the goat costume. We're about to lose Jay.
Yeah.
Came close. Yeah. So
And we thought I figured this out later, but the guy who played Fiyero, we kept saying that looks like Rupert Everett.
Yeah, but it's not.
Son, and or like it could be his son. And when I realized who he was, I realized why I recognized he was in Bridgerton.
That's what Becky said.
Yeah, so
Bridgerton.
that's why he looks so familiar.
Yeah.
But
I haven't seen Bridgerton.
Me either.
Does look like a little bit like Rupert Everett.
That actually does, and kind of played a part that you could see Rupert.
Yes,
back
very
in the
much
day.
so.
The sister, who is going to become the Wicked Witch of the East. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so.
With the ruby
she's actually disabled. She's in a wheelchair all the time.
She's
As
really
is
good.
the little girl that played the younger
Okay, I didn't
version.
realize the younger one was
Both
too.
of them,
Yeah,
yeah.
both of them were great, and the little girl that played the young Elphaba was really cute, really good.
Yeah.
It was a very, very well cast movie.
It really was.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I like Bach. I think Bach was one of my favorite characters.
And I know that's a role that's changed from the book to the in terms of who he some of the stuff. It may happen in the second act or whatever.
Yeah, well, he's
but
in it. I mean, definitely.
And we've seen him somewhere before, right? Bach?
Well,
Was he in?
IMDb won't let me look, so I'm not sure.
Anyway, but yeah, I agree. It was very well cast. Ariana Grande has wanted to be in this since she was a little girl.
Really?
She met Kristen Chenoweth, like at 9, and said this is a role she wanted to play, and she auditioned for it several times. They didn't just give it to her because she was a star, the pop star or whatever. Get it? She auditioned for it. Of course, she was incredible. She just has an incredible voice.
She does.
Yeah, and they said they sang some of the stuff live. Like within the scene, they were
Really?
actually singing. It didn't seem like it to me.
No.
So
There were some places I could tell it, or it seemed like they weren't, but the other places when they could have been.
And I will say, one of the things I really liked about it was the last scene, the Defying Gravity part, where the flying monkeys come to be through a spell. That was cool. That was scary.
That was 6-year-old me was
I
like,
know, because
that
was
very
still
different in
a
the book,
terrifying thing when you were a kid and seeing that. That's
the
to me. That's what
flying monkeys.
the flying monkeys are the worst. And then they made those things.
These are like
it
Planet of
almost
the
got
Apes
to be like a
monkeys.
superhero movie at that point. That maybe that's how I have to relate to it. And then when she takes off and starts flying, I'm like, this is like her superpower.
Yeah.
That happened very differently in the book, the way the monkeys got their wings.
How'd the monkeys get their wings in the book?
A bell rang.
It's just like she attached them and then sort of magically made them work. It wasn't.
This
it wasn't
whole
through
thing.
this.
It wasn't this mutant kind of
It wasn't
thing
through
that
a spell, as I recall.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
okay.
been a year or two since I've read it, but I don't think that's the way it happened.
Yeah,
but I
it's
like
very
this
cool.
better.
The effects were all good.
They were great. Really good.
I'm sure we've all seen the meme. It's like, why didn't Glenda tell Dorothy there was a train that went to Oz? Or whatever. Do that. It kind of reminded me. There were times when it kind of reminded me of like the Hunger Games, and certainly some Hogwarts stuff, I guess, going on. But
yeah, there was a lot of Harry Potter vibes, but obviously,
but it came out before.
It came way before.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Well, I mean, they're both about witches too.
Yeah, that's
So,
right.
It's gonna do that.
And wizards.
Oh my.
And lions.
And tigers and bears. Oh my.
You see, that was the thing. The bear that was the caretaker, that wasn't a thing in the book. The Dulce bear or something like that. Yeah. In the book, it was like there was a nanny, but it wasn't an animal.
Did we get the origin story of the Cowardly Lion? Do you feel like we got the origin story of the Cowardly Lion in that?
Oh.
I didn't see that.
I didn't catch it, but I maybe.
When he said he's so cowardly.
Oh.
No, I'm not sure if you said that or not. But, it's that lion was scared
Well, he's
and then
trembling.
runs off.
Yeah,
and then
he
runs
was
off. So I think that's why he escapes and is still able to talk.
Wow.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, and you saw that like the one little blip of the four of them walking up the yellow brick road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how the yellow brick road came to be.
I thought that was was that in the book at all?
No.
I thought that was kind of a neat thing.
Yeah, that was fun, but it was not there.
What about yellow?
Yellow
Just seems right.
Just seems right. Golden.
Yeah. I did like the wizards, fake persona. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, the big head that comes out.
Yeah.
Fun movie. Enjoyed it.
Are you going to go see the sequel or the second part of it, rather?
Probably will, maybe.
Sure.
A year from now.
It moved along really well. It kept my attention.
Yeah.
I thought the music was great.
I thought at first I was going to be like, oh, this is going to be, and it's, as many times I've dragged Becky to movies that are, that long and are still part one, Avengers, Infinity War, Endgame. But, I thought the same thing. It moved along. It was very well paced. The only thing for me again was just the dance number in the High School Musical part. But I think I may have been just tired too.
But you didn't fall asleep.
I did fall just a barely.
Oh yeah, you said
barely.
you just snooze.
Yeah,
Yeah, a little bit. So
I think the guy was kicking my seat to wake me up.
My eyelids did not defy gravity a couple times.
yeah. So would we recommend to our three listeners that they go see?
I think so.
Sure,
I think it's well worth seeing.
Yeah.
well worth seeing. Now, is anybody going to see Gladiator?
I'm just not interested.
See, that's what I was telling Becky, and Becky said that's a good thing to go with the podcast guys. And I said, I don't think they want to see it. They're billing it. The reason I mention it is they're billing it kind of as they did with Barbie and Oppenheimer. They're kind of saying make it a double feature. Glicked. Have y'all not heard this? Go see Gladiator and Wicked in the same weekend.
Would you wipe your mic off after that? I mean, you just yeah, it's
Glicking.
It's a German,
Yeah.
So
I think it's got Pedro in it, so I would like to see it, but I probably won't go to the theater to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of saying.
Vote for Pedro.
Yeah, vote for Pedro. That's who I pictured when he said that first. I don't think he's in it.
Vote for Pedro.
But one last thing is that this was a really good weekend for the box office.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's that people are going, movies are back.
Movies that attract people are back.
Yeah, movies with the...
The thing is, I mean, we're almost out of time. There are so many things that you can watch now across all forms.
Right.
And when movies you knew what was coming out every Friday.
Yeah. And you don't anymore, right?
Now you have no idea.
Yeah.
It's really kind of crazy. So, but anyway.
But yes, we recommend Wicked.
We do. And there's allegories to Jay's life in it that you can maybe
That's right.
of. I'm just saying. Yeah. I mean,
how did the yellow brick road actually get yellow?
I just want to know, does Rusty have ruby slippers?
I'm not saying.
Oh, we're going to leave it with that mystery. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time around.